Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass. I'm your host, Sam, from the YouTube channel Seen Through Glass.
And I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
Yes, you are. Each week we get together, we talk about cars, motorsport, F1, what else? Cars? We talk about cars. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on youtube.com/Behind the Glass. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And Tony, if people want to support this podcast, what should they do?
Watch it.
No. But also head to Patreon. You can support us on patreon.com/Behind the Glass. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the episode. I obviously saw you like 2 days ago.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi. Done anything interesting in the last 2 days?
No, I've been at work.
What, I mean, did you sell a car? Did you buy a car?
I've sold a lot. I've been busy this month. Sold a lot of cars.
Okay. Anything gone since Sunday? We did the live event at Gravelwood. Any of that stunning stock flown out the door?
Yeah. Couple of M4s.
Oh, hello.
The white one and the blue one.
Okay. New shape or old shape, those?
One new, one old shape.
Oh, nice. Popular, those,
What else have we sold? A Velar.
Oh.
Sold a Velar. Sold a couple of little cheapy part exchangey bits. You know, like 15 granders, that sort of stuff. Not stuff that I bought, just stuff that we took in part exchange. Yeah, a few, mate. 5 or 6 this week.
Churning through stock.
I don't think that was from the podcast, but which is a shame because
you tried hard.
I did try, yeah, and I've got to try, and I thought that I might have at least someone say, "Oh, Tony, what do you think about this?" And perhaps I want to have that's a nice car. Perhaps we'll have a bit of a deal, but no one. So. Next time, don't come if you're not going to buy a car.
You're not invited unless you're purchasing something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a good rule to have, I'll be honest. I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
Intense rule, I think, to have. But
okay.
I'm hoping our future venues don't implement the same rule. We're off to Alexander's Prestige next.
They got some nice cars.
Yeah, very nice cars. Podium in September, then back to Duke of London in October. So yeah, if they all start saying, you've got to buy a car to attend, I think we might get a slightly smaller audience.
Like no one.
Like no one. Well, okay, so you've been busy selling cars. I've been busy driving them.
Well, what have you been driving?
Well, so obviously at the live event, I had the winged 992 GT3.
With a proper gearbox in.
With the PDK gearbox.
Yeah.
I then went out and filmed, in the middle of the heat wave, the PDK car back to back with a manual car.
Tell me. Tell me everything.
Well, thank God, because I said this in the video that would have gone live by the time this episode goes out, I was genuinely a little bit nervous having spent a few days with the PDK GT3. Mm-hmm. I wasn't having that same guttural reaction that I want or I need from cars, or I have had from the 992 GT3. You know me. If I like something, I'm giddy, I'm ridiculous.
Of course.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was driving around in this PDK GT3
and then end up not buying it at all.
Well, yeah. Good point. But yeah, I was driving around in this car being like, it's really good. Like, I really like it, but I'm just not getting the fizz.
The fizz.
And then Vicky was just miserable in it. Twiggy was furious in it. And I was going, oh my God.
What have I done?
What have I done? And then I took it out to do some driving, and I had a proper go on some B roads. And I thought, actually, you know what?
On your own?
On my own.
Right.
On my own. It's coming together. It's making a bit more sense, but still not like... So I went to Porsche UK, swapped it for a manual car, which also happened to be a touring specification.
Yeah.
For my first time driving a 992 touring. Now, we're going to come back to this in 2 seconds, but on paper, identical cars. The wing car and the touring car, supposedly identical, except one has a fixed wing, one has a deployable wing, active rear spoiler. So off I go. Within 500 meters, I knew that I'd made the right choice picking manual, because that's what I've done. I knew within literally pulling out of the car park, I was like, oh yes, this is the gearbox.
You've done the right thing.
Done the right thing.
Yeah, yeah. Which is the most important thing, by the way.
Oh my God. And then half an hour down the road, I was like, it's all coming together. And I got the fizz, I got the buzz. I had this inherent excitement that I couldn't explain. I was like, this is the car that I wanted to buy. This is the car that I've been chasing to purchase for the last year or so. No, the manual gearbox, the manual GT3.
Right, okay.
But, and I said this at the end of the video, I drove those cars back to back within an hour on the exact same road in the exact same conditions. The touring is definitely softer.
Okay.
I called you immediately.
You
to
did
discuss
call me
this.
immediately, you did, yeah.
It's only it's teeny. It's
Yeah.
if you didn't do that, if you didn't drive them back to back, I don't think you'd be able to tell. It's not that significant, but it's enough to be like, the Touring is just a nicer road car, as you would expect it to be. But according to Porsche, it's exactly the same. So how, Tony? Why? What is this wizardry? Is it all psychological? Like,
well, they're not exactly the same, because one's got a manual gearbox and one's got a PDK. I know what you're saying in terms of wing and no wing. When we were speaking yesterday, I think we both kind of come to the conclusion that they probably do have to back the touring car off a bit in terms of the way it rides, because it hasn't got a wing and it is different. I know what they're saying, but would it be like unbearable if it was as jump? Because it's touring means you can tour in it. A GT3 with a wing, and especially a PDK, even non-PDK.
But this was a club sport car, so full cage, etc.
Correct. I mean, the cage will definitely help with
firming things up,
being rigid.
Rigid. There you go. Yeah.
So rigidity is that a word?
Rigidity.
Yeah.
Not rigidity. Rigidity.
Right. I'm so glad you're here.
So am I.
Right up. Yeah. I mean, I won't be able to edit or nothing.
There is a sort of a run-off podcast or series that we could do, which is like English lessons with Tony.
Yeah.
There's something in that.
We could.
A is for have a laugh.
Yeah. Have a laugh. Yeah. Ruby. You know what Ruby is?
No.
Ruby Murray.
You've lost me completely.
Curry. No.
No, but now you're doing Cockney slang.
Yeah, but you don't
I'm
get
talking
that?
about mispronunciation.
Well, that is mispronunciation.
Like Pacific instead of specific.
Specific.
That's not Cockney slang. You're not going, Pacific. You just don't know the word.
I bet your mum and dad are so proud of you that you can talk normally.
No, because you're the only person that I get to do this with. Most of the time my friends are going, Sam, you are I can't say the word because I don't think we're allowed to in 2022, but you are not all there in the brain.
No.
I'm awful. I don't know. I mess up my words all the time on pronunciation. But
not with me.
It's the only reason I pick you up on it is because people do it to me all the time, so I finally have the chance. Like, mate, sorry, can I just stop you there, Tony? It's not having a laugh, it's having a laugh.
You've actually found someone more stupid than you mean?
Basically.
Yeah.
If Paul was here, we'd both be cleverer than him.
That ain't odd.
Anyway, so, yes, to go back to our point, rigidity, yes. The thing is, I agree with you, the Touring should be, theoretically, the softer car, but they claim it is not. Now, I heard a podcast, Spike's Car Radio, Johnny Lieberman, big US journalist, talk about that he believed, or he had discussed with some engineers, that because the active rear wing is a little bit heavier than the fixed rear wing, they do slightly alter the dampers to account for that. Accommodate that increased weight. But Porsche UK say no, we do not. And I found an amazing article on piston heads with a journalist who I actually met out when I was doing was it the Chiron drive? I think it was the Chiron drive. Anyway. And he got Porsche UK to say, no, it's identical. Everything is identical. Everything is identical except the tyres.
Ah, really?
Now,
PSI?
Nope. At least these two cars, you spoke about this when I was talking about my spec. At least these two cars, the winged car that I was driving is on Michelin Cup 2s.
Cup 2s, yeah.
The Touring Pirelli P0s.
Courses. P0
P0 courses,
yeah.
For sure?
For sure.
Okay. They have apparently a larger and softer sidewall. And just more tolerances in terms of...
That's the difference?
Apparently. That's what it came down to.
Which would actually, if you're a bit of a tyre man, this would actually make sense, because what happens with the Pirelli is it gets hotter quicker but goes off quicker, whereas the Michelin will get hot and stay at the optimum temperature, which is why it keeps its stickiness.
So, no matter what, and I've already asked Porsche Guildford, whatever tyres my car comes on, if it's not on the Pirellis are going straight on. I mean, I would have probably done that anyway because of my relationship with Pirelli, but that is 100,000,000% happening.
And that is interesting because I would 100% be the other way around.
Of course you would.
I'd want the Michelins, so for sure.
The Pistonheads article is fascinating. He didn't drive the two cars back to back, but he talks about the fact that the Cup 2s do the tram lighting, are very switched on at the front, are a bit nervous, whilst in the Pirelli shod car, it's always a lot calmer. I mean, I say a lot. These are very small little changes, but
you drive them back to back,
Yes.
Right.
And I would love to hear any of you out there that maybe have got winged or club sport cars, 992 generation GT3s, if you've got Pirellis on, or if you did the change and if you've found this as well. Because that is the only difference and only explanation that Porsche will give.
And there is a difference, by the way. I know we're splitting hairs, but there is a difference between them two tyres, for sure, because I've had both them tyres on different cars. So even at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
my Performanti had P0 Corsas, and the GT3RS had Cup 2s.
Okay, so you can really see the difference in the tyre.
Not only because of the way it drove when the tyres got hot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I say, it'd be fascinating to find out because, as much as we might suspect and as much as I claim there was some wizardry going on, that according to Porsche is the only official difference, and their explanation as to why it may feel a little bit softer. Not it's still a firm car, but anyway. So
can we talk about Lamborghini for a little minute?
Sure, of course.
You all know that I'm probably going to change my car, and perhaps we'll get some suggestions at some point. Not now, but at some point.
That'll be an episode. Season 6.
Yeah, once I get it, I'm not going to tell you what I've got, by the way, but you can give me some suggestions.
I mean,
and
pointless exercise.
No, it's not, because it helps. And in the running for is an STO.
Yeah,
it's in the running, right? Because it'll be perfect for a trip car, right? So anyway, I've done recently, obviously I've took your advice on what it drives like because I listened to you driving was, and I'd done some more digging and I watched the Evo review on it around Anglesey.
Nice.
Well, not nice.
Oh, really?
Put me off.
Oh, what were they saying?
Like first of all, he was saying about, I don't really care how fast this is round here. It's not really about lap times. Well, hold on a minute.
What's it about?
It's exactly what it's about. It's not about anything else.
What's it about?
So he entered into the video saying it's basically a GT3 car with number plates and or it's the Trofeo. It's that road car
that's
version.
what they're claiming, yes.
And then says halfway through the video, but actually lap time doesn't actually really matter because it's about the engine and blah, 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 blah. So when he's finally done the lap, tyres would have been a bit of a thing because it was on Bridgestones, oddly.
Yeah.
Is that common?
That's totally common. And actually, I asked the question of Lamborghini. They've sent me a note somewhere.
Why are they all on Bridgestones?
It's a specially developed compound for that car.
But it's their racy Bridgestone tyre, right?
Yeah, of course.
Which they're not renowned for. It's normally Michelin or Pirelli, right?
No, but for some reason, for that car,
they've gone Bridgestone.
They've gone Bridgestone and a specially developed one. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to tell you.
Weird.
Because I literally was like, has there been an error?
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
Like,
I said,
what are these?
What is that, their wet tyre or something?
Yeah, literally. This makes no sense. Where's the message?
As you can see, we're very prepared.
It's always.
Always. We do this every week. Laptop, quickly, phone.
Oh, God. No, I can't find it.
He's flapping.
Yeah.
But they are Bridgestone.
They are Bridgestone, but there's another option, which is what I'm trying to...
Oh, what, a stickier option?
No.
Oh, no. Disaster.
Hold on. You keep talking.
No, I'm trying to. I just cannot understand. Is the Bridgestone the stickiest tyre they do? I mean, that's a...
2 options. 2 Bridgestone options. Sport and race for full-on track performance. So 2 Bridgestone tyres.
That's it?
Yeah, special compounds for that car developed with Bridgestone.
That is amazing because in general, they're Pirelli.
Well, yeah, Lambos throughout, but also most will know... this is becoming a tyre episode, isn't it? Most super high-end supercars are Michelin
or Pirelli. Yeah, and the Italians, or most normal Ferraris are Pirelli as well, apart from the track version cars. They've got Michelins on them. So
bizarre.
So,
was he slagging off the tyres?
Well, he just said they weren't as good as they weren't as sticky as a Cup 2 or a Cup R or, you know.
Who was that? Do you remember which journalist it was?
No, he's a renowned one.
Sure.
He's one of the ones that we always.
But one that you tend to agree with his opinions on.
I don't tend to agree with a lot of any of them are saying. I respect what they do, and I don't always listen to them, mate, because we all have different views. We have different views. And they don't always correlate with when I actually drive them. I actually think, Colgate. That's toothpaste. I understand that one. So anyway, shush, let me get back to this car. Flipping hell. Talking about toothpaste. The tyres, right? So that instantly put me off, right? Sure. And then he said about the being Cup 2s or not the Pirelli, and they're not sticky. And then he goes and does this like lap time, which is what the car's all about, which was like completely irrelevant. I mean, it just wasn't that fast.
Just dead.
Yeah, and then that's where you think like, well, what's the point in that car? Like, in a straight line, it's not all about straight line speed, but in a straight line, it's the slowest out of all the track version cars. And actually, round a track's not that fast either because it's not got all the right. So what's the point of it? So I've probably gone off it now.
Oh, well, I think that's the fundamental question with that car, and the question I tried to answer, or at least address in my video, because it is simply that. It's not a homologation special because they didn't need to homologate it.
No.
So the name is pointless. You can't enter it into a race series. You can't really track it because it gets kicked off most track days.
All tracks.
And as apparently Evo have proved, and even though I haven't seen that video, it's not actually that quick around track. Then it's way too hardcore for the road. And actually, you say it'd be perfect for a trip. It's got no boot. It's got crap living space. So, you know, you're going to have all your stuff in the passenger seat with you, which is going to fly all over the place when you start cracking on.
So just give you an idea how slow or fast it was around the coastal circuit at Anglesey, which is like a 1 minute 10. It was 2 seconds slower than the pista.
Wow. Yeah, that is bad.
I mean, that is a lot, mate.
Here we go. I'm just bringing up the Evo lap board to see what else it was kind of behind.
A lot.
Yeah, and of course, Huracan STO 112.7. It's basically a 10th quicker than a 488 GTB. Oh, but it's a 10th quicker than the 992 GT3, mate.
Yeah, but that would compete with a GT2.
Fair.
It would, mate.
Well, no, but not because of the engine. It's a naturally aspirated engine, isn't it? Well, that's what you got to think.
Yeah, but it's 600 or not 500. So where's the GT3RS then?
It's a second and a half quicker
than a 3RS.
It's the 991.2 is a second half quicker than the STO.
Right.
600 LT is quicker than the STO.
That's what I'm saying. It's just really not like for a track car. Yeah, it's just really not that fast.
I'm not trying to defend it. I'm sort of with you. I'm just kind of analysing as we go.
And when you look at all the competitors, like, and then you take boot space into consideration, which you need on a trip.
Yeah, but hold on a sec. I am now going to defend it because who cares? For me, the reason I like that car was emozione.
That's what you said.
Yeah, it's emotion. Yeah. It's soul. It's what Lamborghini are continuing to do, what all the other manufacturers don't.
And I get that.
It's a true old school supercar, and it's not really good at anything, which is why it's great.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, like, there's no one thing which it's fantastic at.
True.
So it's just this ridiculous creation.
Yeah.
And therefore, as a thing to bring a smile to your face and enjoy, I think it is a thing, and I still want you to go and test drive one.
Yeah. But what is it? That's what I'm saying. What is the car?
It's a joke. It's a toy. It's Lambo going, we can do it, so why wouldn't we?
But we haven't done it very well because it's not good at anything.
But maybe that's the point.
Yeah,
maybe it's not supposed to be good at anything. Yeah, okay. They're not sitting there going, we're going to make a Nürburgring lap time. My accents are all over the place.
But it did beat the Nürburgring for a minute. For a minute,
for half a second.
Yeah, until the Black Series smashed it.
So, you know, it's sort of like it's not really anything, but therefore it's just a thing.
Yeah, okay.
And I do think for a trip, if you're trucking it there as you will, you're going to drive it up and down great mountain passes for 3 or 4 days and then truck it back and sell it.
Well, try and sell it.
Because
the same one's on the market.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah.
I go and drive one. Go and drive one, because as you say, you can't always listen to what the journalists say, because our opinions will differ. They're very good at describing the car, but when it comes down to actual opinions, you're not always going to agree with everyone about every car.
And what you want out of a car, because everyone's got that different... I'm very, specific.
So well done, mate.
in what I want.
Yeah.
What really made my ears perk up though about that car, because he mentioned the same as you about the brakes. He said the brakes are incredible. But then if the brakes are incredible, why is it so slow round a coastal circuit at angle C?
Because it's got no guts. It's what, 620 horsepower?
640.
640 naturally aspirated
But
V10.
nor do race cars have any guts. They just have loads of grip and good brakes.
But torque and power delivery in a pista is a joke.
Yeah.
So.
And a 765.
And a 765 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You just made me think of something though. Oh, what were you just saying about cars? A journalist. I was saying Jethro Bovington's still my guy.
Yeah.
Everything he says, I'm like, yep, I want that car.
I actually like Sutcliffe.
I know you really like Sutcliffe.
Yeah, and actually Chris Harris. To me, I like what Chris says.
I agree with most of Chris's opinions.
Yeah.
I think I feel like we've got similar cut tastes, but sometimes every now and again he likes something that I don't. And
when I don't agree with it, he goes in. He doesn't like me. But I do agree with most of it. But there's some things you're right. I don't agree with him, and he goes in on me.
I think. Oh no, maybe I was going to say maybe you and Chris are more similar than you both realise, but I disagree because I don't think anyone is similar to you, Tony.
Like a one-off.
But yeah, for me, that's my go-to. If there's a line, like if there's Catchpole, Harris, and Bovington are the three that I'll always want to watch immediately.
Okay.
But Bovington, Harris, Catchpole is my order of agreeing on opinion.
Okay, fun.
That's the
fun.
Anyway, I'm bringing up my phone because we thought we'd do a bit of a Q&A today. I'm actually off on a road trip, hence why we're recording this straight after our Behind the Glass live. So this is actually recorded a week before you're listening to it. Because I'm off on an adventure in the F-Type, which I'm actually very excited for. And so I'm not around next week, so I thought we would sit down.
And your new one?
In the new one, in the brown one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brown.
Mate, do you know, the thing I'm most excited about is not only doing a big trip in that car, I'm going to the mountains. I haven't been to the mountains for time, mate.
You're going to the Alps?
I'm going to the Alps.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, because I went with the 911 Carrera at the beginning of the year. I don't think I've done any mountain passes for a while.
Well, we done some last year.
But I think that's
October.
I think that's it. October last year.
None in Tenerife when you went.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'd call that like Alps.
I mean
Alps mountain.
But there's nothing else like them.
Anyway, so I'm very excited. So so we're doing that today. So yes, we asked a load of you to submit some questions, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Just thought we'd dive in. So I've screenshot a few, but then at some point we're going to have to jump on the computer and just scroll. So
okay.
Wish me luck, because I've forgotten which ones I wanted to ask you.
There we go. Well planned.
We'll start off with Christoph Sutcliffe, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce every single username because it's social media.
Is it all right to say their names?
I'm assuming so.
Oh.
I don't think they're revealing anything about themselves.
Okay.
As I say, I'm just not going to be able to pronounce them all. If it used to be his Halo car, why hasn't Tony bought a GT2RS yet?
Well, good question. And I honestly nearly bought one last year when I was replacing one of my other cars. I was that close to buying them, but when you look at the price of them,
I'm going to pull you up on this so much. Keep going.
No. And you look at when you look at funding, right? It worked out. So take the Pista as an example. It worked out £1,500 a month more than the Pista. And without being disrespectful to Porsche, because I love Porsche as a brand, as I do Ferrari, driving around in a Ferrari is not driving around in a Porsche is not driving around in a Ferrari. So you'd like to drive around probably in a Ferrari more than you would a Porsche. Now, that was the main reason. And secondly, because of my job and because of what I do for a living, I know they're not really losing loads of money, but I still can't get over the fact that I've got to give $100,000 over list for it and it's 4 or 5 years old. In my head, it just doesn't sit right with me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
but this is what I'm going to come at you on, because I think you do that, or you would do that, for Ferrari any day of the week. For some reason with that 2RS, you've said from day one, it's overpriced. It's overpriced.
Not a list, it's not.
No, sorry, on the used market.
Fair.
Right now, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Has it come down? Has the price of that car on the used market moved at all in the last 2 or 3 years?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it has.
But give me some figures.
So I can give you an example, mate, because I nearly bought a red car out of Porsche with hardly no miles on it right before COVID. I was so close to doing it at bang on 300 grand.
300 grand, low
Bang
mileage
on.
car.
No, I had barely no mileage pre-COVID.
Okay.
And the only reason why I didn't do it was because COVID was coming.
Sure.
And I thought, well, I don't know what's going to happen here, so I didn't buy it. And then obviously we know what happened after that. And now, like a 5,000 mile 2RS now is probably 350, 360.
So they've gone up.
Well, they have gone up, but what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say to you is, no, everything's gone up. Everything went up, mate.
Sure.
You know, hindsight's
So
a
what's a
wonderful
low?
thing.
What's a low mileage 2RS? 400 grand.
Yeah, but my car wouldn't have low mileage. My car would have 7,000 miles on it now.
Fine, but
I'd still be all right.
My point being that the cars have gone up.
But I missed the boat. But that's another thing as well. I should have bought that car, but I didn't buy that car because you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. We all thought. You know, especially when we went into lockdown, we didn't even know if we was going to have a business there.
No,
and it was completely irresponsible of me to go out and spend 300 grand on a car.
Definitely not having a go at you there, but you have since spent 3 times that on multiple cars over the last 18 months.
Yeah.
And I think the 2RS, you always seem to come back to this point of the money, the blah, 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 blah. But you have made and you have considered far more ludicrous amounts of money for cars within that same time period. And in my mind, especially now, your mentality of basically buy car, 4 trips, sell car, rather than having one car for a considerable amount of time. So you're probably going to own cars 3 to 9 months realistically.
Yeah.
Surely the 2RS at the moment, if you found one with a few miles on anyway, you could take on a trip, put a couple of thousand miles on, and then probably get out relatively safe if you're looking to do it within a 3 to 9 month window.
And it still is a consideration, that car, for me. It still is on my list, you know, like the STO, and SF90 is another one as well. So it is still on my list, but I don't know, mate. It's really odd, and it's because of my job. It's the big overs that they are that's sort of like making me think. And that's only because of my job. If I was a normal punter, I probably would have bought one.
How much were Pista's list?
Depends, mate. Anything,
No. Starting price, non-spec.
260.
260. Okay, fine. Because someone was asking me at the live show. They came up and said, how much are these cars?
260 odd plus options.
So they're kind of, they're not really trading overs at the moment. Pistas, are they? Or
some of them are.
Some of them
the convertibles. 70 over.
Oh, really? Still okay, but that's
what I sold my one.
That's stomachable for you, is it?
No, because I didn't pay 70 over for it.
No, okay, but paying overs for a Pista is, or are you paying list for Pistas?
Yeah, I'm not. I've never paid over for a Pista.
Okay, so you've always paid list.
Around. Listen, if something's 10 or 15 over, you know, you feel a bit more comfortable. When they're 80 or 90 over,
it's harder to stomach.
It's like a GT3, like your GT3 you've got coming. They're 80 or 90 grand over, no chance.
Yeah,
no
it's
thanks.
too much.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, K_. Whereouch 9. Going to give that a go. Sam, why does your wife not travel with you more often? She's got a job. I mean, she's got a job.
Yeah.
She's not sitting around twiddling her thumbs and a life.
Yeah.
Obviously, she came on Drive the World with me. She actually took a year out of work for that. Did do some remote work still, but that's why she was on Drive the World with me.
Well, it was her job then, right? Was that her job, Drive the World?
No, not at all.
She just had to come and have a nice time.
Well, she did assist on Drive the World. She did assist me, but that wasn't her job. She took a year out, and she took a year as a freelancer, so she was still doing stuff remotely for her old job, and then I guess freelancing with me here and there as well on a few bits. But,
lovely.
She's back in full-time employment. So, you know, if you have a job, you know, you can't just willy-nilly join me on trips left, right and centre. So that's why I try to do trips during the week now rather than over the weekend, so that I can get back at the weekend.
Spend some time with her.
Exactly. Lovely. Have you ever do you take partners with you everyone on your trips? You have, but you tend to go by yourself more?
Mostly lads, mate. Yeah. You know, but we have.
Whatever you're into, mate. It's 2022. I don't judge.
No. But it's a lot of my friends go away to get away from their wives.
Yeah. I have heard.
And after meeting a couple of them, you see why.
That's harsh. Jacob G. Brown. What's your overall opinion, and I think he means now, on the standard 458?
Overhyped, too much money, old car, no good.
Well, okay, again, going to come at you for a second. Overhyped, I'm so with you.
Yeah.
Values of 458s at the minute are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I do think misplaced, and as we've said a few times before on this podcast, especially compared to 488s.
Yeah.
But to go, old car, useless. You owned about 10 of them, mate. And forever, they were a fantastic car.
Yeah.
And they were, as we've said before, miles above anything else. And yes, now, comparatively, they are not as good as new things, but that's because they're old, mate.
That's right.
So you can't say, piece of crap does nothing, a load of crap. Because it is still the car that you loved for a long time. Just newer things have come out.
Loved.
Yeah.
Not now.
But you can't suddenly say now it's crap just because it's old. Mate, it's not crap. Yeah. It's just not the latest thing.
But it is crap
worse.
to me.
It's not got worse.
Well, it has, because things have moved on and that stayed the same, so it's got worse.
No, it can't have improved. It was the finished product.
Yeah. Well, the Speciale was apparently, and I that's another car as well. That's everyone's holy grail. It's what everyone goes back to. And even yesterday in that Evo clip that I saw with the STO, he said it's comparison to the Speciale, and that put me off as well, because I thought, flipping off, it's like the Speciale. No chance, thank you. No way, I'm not driving that again. It's just, that car, honestly, is another really... In fact, I'll give you a bit of consumer advice.
Oh, here we go.
Don't waste your money spending 350, 400 grand on a Speciale. Spend 150 on a normal car and keep the 200 grand. Because, yeah, they are different, but it's not night and day.
I disagree.
200 grand. £200,000.
Yes. Because, as we've seen time and time again, your money will be safer in a Speciale than a 458.
No, not now. No chance.
Yeah.
Not what?
You think that Speciales are going to come off and 458 Italias are going to go up?
458 Italias will definitely stay where they are, for sure. But how much more? The problem is with Speciales that people are buying these cars and they just leave them on speculating that they're going to keep going up. They're going to be £500,000 or 600 grand.
Will.
No. Well, not anytime soon.
I think so.
Next 5 years?
Yeah, Speciale.
Five.
Yeah, Speciale, 500 grand.
In 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I just made money.
I just made money.
How much are Apertas these days? 600, 700, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're screwed, mate.
600 grand?
You are losing that bet.
What are they going to be? 750 million quid?
750, yeah, Apertas, easy.
When?
5 years. 5 years, Apertas will be 750 and a Speciale will be 500.
That's more than likely than a Speciale being 500.
Okay, well, we're getting to the nitty-gritty, but 458 Italia, standard car, which is what this question was about, still a great car, but it's not worth the money that's being asked for them or that they're supposedly trading at.
And a Speciale is?
Yeah, a Speciale... Oh, mate.
No, mate.
We're talking about... The question was about the 458 Italia.
I know.
Let's just talk about that for a second, because we're going to be on this point forever.
Right.
So the 458 Italia is not worth the money that's trading at the moment.
Right.
But
Speciale is.
It's still a good car, yes, the Speciale is.
Right, at 200 grand more?
Yes.
Just because it's got Speciale by it instead of Italia?
Yes. Right. Chris Holland, nutty for cars. Could you and the YouTubers pull together a joined up road trip again? Tim, James and QB. Who's QB?
No idea.
Who's QB?
Mate, it's your world.
I know. Who's QB? Anyway.
Well, they would if they all liked each other.
Tony just trying to stir the pot. I would love to say yes, and I've said this so many times on the show before. It's just not going to happen because everyone is just too busy with their own lives. I think, we did the trip with Paul then last year. That was hard enough, just us three getting a date.
Well, it was. He didn't want to be there.
Well, he didn't want to be there because he hates driving. But as you will know, if you watch any YouTube, myself, Shmee, JWW, Seb Delaney, Archie Hamilton, TG, like everyone is so busy with their own lives, trying to corral us all into the same place at the same time. And then, and this is the harder part nowadays, working out a trip where everyone can get their own content and their own angle when there's 3, 4, 5, 6 of us in the same place at the same time with the same cars. It's just not a thing. Everyone's too business minded.
Yeah.
Those were the glory days, the days that I loved. And I would love to do it again, even just for the fun and not make videos, just to go and do it as a blast. Yeah. I would do that hands down. But convincing other YouTubers to do it, it's just not, it's not clever business at the moment, unfortunately. Whilst I think a lot of people like the idea of it, seeing a week's worth, it's like Gumball gone crazy. It's just too much content from the same thing. So unfortunately, I don't think it will happen, but hopefully in smaller variations, it can or it will. So where was this one? Okay. this is kind of goes back to something that you said a moment ago. Asharab Butt, do you still feel excited about any cars that are coming out since you're always around insane cars? And yeah, it goes to your stupid point a moment ago. Oh, it's crap now. It's crap. I've moved on. There's new stuff. It's crap. Which is ridiculous, but that also happens to us. I think with the modern things, with brand new stuff, we are overexposed. And we say it a lot. And I think any opinions that we share on this podcast, you've got to take with a pinch of salt because we're around so much new stuff. I'm getting things whispered in my ear, left, right, and centre by manufacturers and experts, and opinions being shared directly with me, which I'm then sometimes regurgitating, or I'll be honest, sometimes I take on board a bit too much. Tony's at the other end of the scale. We're seeing the brutal truth of it, of customers and everyday experiences. So, yeah, the sheen has gone, and it's very rare that a new car comes around that we're genuinely excited about.
296.
296, really?
Yeah.
See, I disagree.
You're not excited about that car?
Oh, well, no, and I've driven it. I think it's great.
You loved it.
I think it's fantastic. I'm not excited by it. Would I have one? No.
992 GT3 RS?
Yeah. No. RS, no. GT3, yeah. RS, I couldn't care less about the RS. That wing is just pointless. And why are you going to drive an RS on the road? I don't go on track. So what's the point? The Sport Classic, I'm all over. I was looking at this. Do you know it's over 200 grand list?
Oh, yeah.
Plus options.
Will be, yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Well,
kind of
there you go.
one.
Welcome to Porsche.
Well, I half wanted one. I was like, oh no.
Half wanted one.
Well, then I watched the reviews and everyone's like, oh, it's basically just a GTS. Did you see the reviews that came out this morning?
Is it GTS?
I only watched half of the smoking tyre video.
It's got a turbo engine in it.
No, but it's not. It's super dulled down.
Oh.
It's basically a GTS plus. The GTS has a turbo engine, doesn't it?
Yeah, but a 3 litre.
It's literally a Fettel. It's somewhere in between.
Oh.
Because the 0 to 60 is like 4 point something seconds.
Yeah, because a manual.
Because a manual, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 3.7.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, it's like, as I say, I should watch the whole piece before. This is classic me.
You do realise 3.7 seconds for a car is stupidly fast. It's
all right. I thought the 458 was a load of crap. What's that time?
No, what?
Yeah, hold on a sec, mate. Hold on a sec, mate.
The car, yeah, but 3.7 for the normal consumer.
Exactly.
3.7 seconds is ridiculous. Let me finish my sentence
for the normal
before
consumer.
You jump on my back.
Is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, me, as I've owned one, by the way. Where's your speciale? Exactly. Thank you very much. Done him. For the normal consumer, 3.7 seconds is incredible.
That was
you lost my train of thought. We are used to cars being late twos, so you can't go. It's not that fast. 3.7. It's nearly as quick as your GT3.
Yes, no, comparatively, I mean.
Comparatively.
Of all the people on this bench to start talking about relevance, I don't think you're necessarily...
Hardly a bench, not Parliament.
Start jumping in saying, hold on a sec, mate, you're all over the place. But yeah, as I say, I need to go back and watch the full bit of content because I was genuinely intrigued by it. But it is the initial argument from Smoking Tyre, I think, was it sort of sits between turbo and GTS, and is it that special? I don't know. I think it's just probably a collector's piece. I'm just trying to look here.
It will be a collector's car. It'll be loads of money.
3.7 litre engine has been turned down from 572 horsepower to 542. Seeing as the turbo's front drive shafts have been thrown in the bin, the 992 is 70 kilos lighter than the turbo, so the power to weight pretty much evens out.
So is it basically a 911R?
No,
with a turbo engine.
No. Nowhere near as special. Nowhere near as special. This is a collector's car. Yeah. So here we go. This is the topgear.com piece. Is it any good on the road? Yes, it's suited perfectly to the road and it isn't champing at the bit for a racetrack to let loose. The electronics is steering based off a 911 turbo and GTS work together. Where's the summary piece? Come on. Come on.
We do this every week, ladies and gentlemen.
Unprepared, useless.
We're so prepared.
Anyway, what was the question?
That's what he said.
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we struggle to get excited about new cars.
Yeah.
Eoin Corro, Eoincorro. Yeah, Owen Corro. I think. Ian? I don't know. Have you ever had any weird or strange encounters with people / fans whilst doing a video?
Oh, every time I meet them. No, not really.
But
you've got to answer that, mate.
No, but you too, I'm sure. Like, I don't know if I'd call them any strange encounters. I'm sometimes surprised by where I encounter people. in terms of like, I mean, even just the other day when I was filming the F-Type driving to Belgium, I mentioned it. A guy in an M5 pulled in, and he comes over and he sees a podcast listener. And I'm like, oh my god, like amazing! Like that blows my mind. The one that really stands out to me of all of them was during Drive the World in Australia. We're 2.5 weeks into that trip, something like that, and we were crossing the Nullarbor, which is this big expanse of nothingness. Mate, we are in the middle of the desert, and we walk into this small town, and literally a guy follows us through town to the hotel, comes running over. Oh my God, seen through glass, no way! Madness. And I was like, that's a joke.
Mad. Yeah.
But I don't think I haven't had any creeps or any weirdos, or I don't think I have that kind of audience. I would love to have like women throwing underwear at me and stuff, but it doesn't really happen, does it? No.
Well, we haven't got any women followers.
You know what? You say that. Our female demographic, mate, pretty sure.
2%.
No, I think it's just gone up.
What, 3?
Yeah. You've never had like, funny or weird interactions?
Well, yeah, I have, but I don't really want to talk about them. I mean, I have.
We'd have to be cruel.
Well, that's the problem, is I come across as cruel. Yeah.
Oh no, it's gone down, mate.
What is it?
1.4%.
Yeah, it's tiny.
I think it's gone up on the main channel. Anyway. Okay, so do you want to move on? Because I feel like you're feeling
I'd love to move on, yeah.
Okay. Julius Hammond, what's your driving trip essentials?
A car. What's yours? Oh, I know what his is. You cannot believe he goes straight to Holland and Barrett, by the way.
Whole Foods.
And Whole Foods, it's the same thing. And buys nuts for a monkey farm. You cannot believe the amount of nuts. Mind you, I will say, them honey nuts that you bought on Mille Miglia, they were the nicest nuts.
See?
Well,
see?
You knew how nice they were because you ate them all.
Yeah, snacks. And I said it in a piece of, especially the longer drives, and I feel like I've conditioned myself over the years for these longer drives. Yeah, snacks. Snacks, absolutely essential. And if you can, healthy snacks. Those Mille Miglia ones were not healthy. Oh,
and so addictive. One real essential for me is Spotify.
Spotify, yeah. Fair enough. Music.
Yeah, music, yeah.
What do you listen to?
All sorts, mate.
No, but just
We've
name
had
me
this conversation before.
Okay, but name me your favourite go-to, because it's one of the questions actually. I just can't remember who asked it. Yeah, the go-to album.
Oh, mate, I don't really listen to albums,
but one that you would happily. It's Desert Island Discs.
Dire Straits.
There you
go.
Yeah. Okay. Thomas Vey 68 is the GT3 a keeper's car? Do you see yourself selling it in a year or two? I don't know. I'll be completely honest with you. I genuinely don't know. Like, I would love to say it's a keeper forever, but until I've lived with it, I can't tell you. Like, I don't know. I'm speccing it like it's a car that I'll keep forever. I'm definitely not speccing it for resale.
I think you'll have it a while.
I would assume I'd have it a while. If it was a touring, I probably would say it would be a forever car. I don't know why I say that over a wing car, but yeah, I mean, I hope to keep it forever, but I'll let you know. A year in, I'll let you know. Adam Coltman is, he said, what Rolex does Tony have? But there's somebody else asked, are you into watches in general?
I've got a couple, but okay. I'm not, I've got a couple, mate.
Got a couple. When was the first time you bought yourself a big watch, like a Spenny watch?
About 10 years ago.
Was it for a particular occasion or reason?
No, I just wanted a nice watch.
Just wanted a nice watch. You went out and bought a nice watch.
Yeah. I've had this watch 10 years.
Are you a brand hoe? That's a Daytona, right?
Yeah.
Are you a brand hoe?
I only like Rolex. I've got Cartier as well.
Okay.
But
Rolex, Cartier.
Yeah. But the Cartiers, they sort of, unless they're right up in the market, in the money, they tend to lose money like the normal watch. I haven't got a really expensive Cartier. It's like a dinner watch.
Do you walk into a shop, have a browse and pick the one that catches your eye, or do you go, I prefer Daytona to a Sea Dweller type thing?
No, there are certain watches that I like. And like I said, I've got like 3 watches, mate. Yeah. It's not...
Yeah.
Not as long as I've got some people collect them and, there's real investments and they spend hundreds of thousands of quid on them. It's a bit like having loads of cars. You can only wear one at once.
Yeah, there's often a crossover, I think, between car guys and watch guys.
Always.
It's very similar sort of worlds.
Yeah.
And you're right, tend to be... I'm not looking to collect watches. I like watches, and over time, I'm the same. I've got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That seems kind of enough for me. Really. Yeah. And most of the time, I'm wearing the Casio these days.
Yeah. I'm definitely not a collector. I just like them.
Okay. Somebody else had one of these. Will Timmers Joachim, will the POVlog ever return? I never say never. It just when I make POVlogs these days, the majority of my audience go, "What is this?" Because I think my audience has grown so much since the days I used to do POVlogs. They kind of stick out like a sore thumb. And also, I struggle to get surprised by what I see in and around London because social media is so prolific.
Yeah,
I feel like I know the cars that I'm going to see before I head out, and I want it to be genuine excitement.
You've already seen it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've already seen it on social media, yeah.
So never say never.
There's that car again.
It was Martin Down Under that was asking if you're into watches.
Okay.
There was a great one. I like this question. Simon Somerset, greatest achievement to date for both Tony and Sam. I quite like that. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Building what I've got, mate. Full stop.
Just where you are now.
I'm proud of myself. You have to be proud of yourself because if you're not going to be proud of yourself, who else is going to be proud of you? So, yeah, just what I've achieved. 20 years ago, if someone said I'd achieved what I'd achieved now, I wouldn't have believed it. So I'm proud of myself, for sure.
Is there a moment that you can look back on yet and say that first year where we turned over X amount of money, or that year that I moved into that unit, or the year that we sold that many cars in a month, or sorry, the time we sold that many cars? Is there any moment that you look back on and go, that I like to think of that moment, that was a stepping stone? I'm not saying you're done, because I think,
No, I'll never be done. I'll keep going.
Yeah, hopefully there's lots more achievements ahead of us.
Yeah, of course. No, not really. I remember the sleepless nights and the worry. I don't get that anymore, luckily.
Can you point to when they may have stopped?
Yes. I don't know an exact year, but when I stopped worrying about money.
So basically, the business got to a point where...
There just become a point in my life where it's not really about money anymore. I'll tell you when it probably was, when I had my daughter. Okay. Probably 5 or 6 years ago.
I was trying to give you eye signals to say that you probably should have said that she's your greatest achievement.
What is?
Your daughter.
Yeah, well, no, she 100% is.
Yes,
yeah. But
I mean, luckily she nor your partner listen, so you're not going to be in that much trouble.
No, but I thought, she's 100. I mean, that just goes without saying, mate. But I thought he was talking about, he might not even know I got a daughter.
No, fair enough.
I mean?
No, he was talking about business. But.
Yeah, from business point of view. But yeah, achievement is it's always your children if you love them.
Who was that tennis player the other day? Was it Djokovic? I think when he won Wimbledon, and Sue Barker, I think, was interviewing him and trying to point him to things that he should be doing. Saying, and would you like to say anything to your team? He was like, oh yes, the team. He goes, and your wife on your anniversary? Oh yes, my wife. Anyway, so for me, Drive the World, I do see it as an achievement, as in having done it and completed it. But I'm a bit the same as you. Like I'm constantly achieving the fact that I'm here is an achievement. And
of course.
And keep pushing. So. Yeah, I mean, there's certain moments, certain videos, certain things that I can point at, but fundamentally, just keep pushing on. Really.
Yeah.
Alex Campbell, 23. How do the ad timings work in YouTube videos? Oh, okay. Behind the scenes of social media. I pointed this one out because I think just people still find a fascination with how YouTubers make money. Basically, we have nothing to do with it within reason. So when we upload a video, especially we're talking about this podcast channel, I just hit monetize and I let YouTube do the rest. So they automatically place ads within the video in a way that they think will maximize monetization, but also engagement. So
you can do it yourself though?
You can interject and you can choose where to position those ads. But if you want to maximize earning potential, let YouTube do it. And that may sound cruel to you as viewers or listeners. You might be thinking, oh, come on, Sam, interject. But no, this is a business. And I am obviously trying to maximize profits from this content. We don't do this for free. You consume it for free. Yeah. And therefore, unfortunately, it means you have to be subjected to advertisements.
Yeah. Like the radio, mate.
Like the radio, like TV, whatever it might be. Otherwise you have to pay a subscription fee, which we don't want to introduce.
Like Spotify.
Patrons very kindly support and they get ad-free content. If you're going to watch it for free and consume it for free, then you have to watch ads. And therefore, I trust YouTube because they have much cleverer computers and algorithms to figure out that ad placement than me going, I'm going to put one in that break, and I'm going to put one here. And the same if you're listening. I also am teamed up with Acast and they do exactly the same thing. So Yes.
Can you monetize if you? I know why would you? But can you when you upload a video? Can you do it?
Well, yeah, because the patrons consume it unmonetized.
Right, fair.
Yeah,
fair.
And you can unmonetize it, but then
why would you? Because it's a business. Yeah.
What's the point?
We wouldn't get paid.
It's not just a passion project. There's a lot of passion involved. I love my job. It is a job. Shane Evans, I quite like. Shaheen Evans. Sorry, Shaheen. If you were a car, what car would you be?
One that's nutcase fast. Pista.
No.
Yeah, because it's a nutcase car, that car.
I think you're more TDF than Pista.
Worse.
Because you just want to kill everyone.
Yeah, but no, wait a minute, mate. I can't be that bad.
You've got a bit of flair. You're loud. You're shouty.
Yeah.
But you're very good at certain things. And you just kill people left, right and centre.
Really bad at some other things.
Really? Yeah. Exactly. So TDF sums you up perfectly, mate.
All right, let's try and sum you up in the car then, because this will be quite fun. What would be a good car for you? Aston.
Style, elegance, barely ever working.
Get everything wrong.
Get everything wrong. Bloody hell. What dick. Okay.
Could have been worse. I could have said McLaren.
Oh my God. What? I'm always on fire. Yeah. Speed Machine. Where do you see Seen Through Glass and Behind the Glass in 5 years' time? Well, let's talk about Behind the Glass because we're here. I think we've got big plans, right? I mean,
we have.
For sure, and this is another thing to go back to this break that we're going to be taking in the summer, as we always do. Mm-hmm. I sort of do it. I do it on the main channel as well, and I've kind of just done it now. So off the back of all those big adventures, the last few months, which ended in Mille Miglia and then Festival Speed and British Grand Prix, I kind of slowed things down. So I've made, I guess, 3 or 4 videos. I had the V12 Vantage test drive and the F-Type reveal, the STO, and God, I'm forgetting something else, which is embarrassing, but they were sort of what I would call low-paced videos.
Yeah.
Just to allow myself to kind of refresh. And it means that I'm going into this next trip super motivated. Like I'm really buzzing for this trip and how I'm going to capture it. And I needed that just to kind of relax because after British Grand Prix, I basically didn't want to pick up a camera. I was creatively drained. And, so that's why we're taking this break on the podcast. But I think in general, we're both super motivated to push the podcast forward. And it's purely the fact that we've both got such time-demanding other jobs, commitments, that we aren't able to push it forward as fast as we would like.
No.
The patrons are amazing at supporting us and helping to allow us to dedicate more time to this. But so that on pure ad revenue and even the odd sponsorship we do, it barely covers the cost after the patrons and especially the cost of our time. So that's why, things like we would firstly like to improve the amount of content we're putting out, production quality, setting, the amount of live shows, the format, all these different things. And we have that in place, right?
Yeah.
It's just about time to implement it.
Yeah, and us being at different points of London, like Sam's at one point of London and I'm at the other point, and we just don't spend enough time together to grow it. But hopefully we can make that happen at some point, and then there will be a growth, but it's difficult because we're not always together. And like Sam said, we've got different commitments. Sam's got his main channel. I've got businesses to run. So it is difficult, but we will get there, We will get there. And I think, for sure, you're right. A sort of Behind the Glass HQ at some point could be amazing, where we're sort of both spending more time. But, these are all things that we have to try and implement, as well as, maintaining a living. So Rome wasn't built in a day, mate.
Yeah. And the main channel's going nowhere. I mean, the main channel, I think this year I'm in a much happier place with the main channel than I've ever been. I think you guys, I hope, are enjoying sort of quantity over quality, and that will probably continue to be true.
Because you got the wobble on a little bit on the main channel last year, didn't you?
Yeah, well, last year it was just dead. Just dead. I was out of love with it. I was demotivated by it. The algorithm went against me. I was sort of chasing my tail. I didn't really know what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
And I just took a bit of a breather. And as I said at the start of the year, I'm just going to make the content I want to make, really focus on quality, really focus on stories, really just the stuff that I always wanted to make. And I shouldn't have been messing around. And I'm happier. I'm way more motivated. I'm enjoying it a lot more. And the feedback I see from all of you suggests it's going down well. And so if anything, I want to implement that even further. Because, I say the last few weeks when I've made these kind of like stopgap videos, which I'm still pleased and proud of, and I still put effort into, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. Even further, I want to push and go, okay, well, just if I need to take 2-3 weeks off, I take 2-3 weeks off, just as long as the actual content I'm always putting out is as strong as it can be, the best content that I could ever make. That's at least the thought. Okay, greatest achievement. Where was this? No, don't see a question there. How'd you put up with Tony? I don't know.
You're lucky you're not in my head. Imagine that.
How do you put up with Tony?
Yeah, how do I put up myself?
Tony's already touched on how much drama is there between fellow UK YouTubers. I joke. Really boringly, unlike the Americans, there's basically none. I mean, I kind of wish there was some. I feel like we should start some. Let's just start slagging off Paul more often, I think.
Well, no, he wouldn't care less if he...
No, he wouldn't know.
Basically, he wouldn't understand. He doesn't even know anything about his own channel.
Reese and Peas. Oh, like rice and peas, but Reese and Peas. If you won the Euro Millions jackpot, would you continue to create on YouTube? I.e., would you continue to run your dealership? Would your life change if you just won, like somebody did? Did you hear? 195 million.
I would. I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I'd keep working, mate.
Would you change anything though?
Yeah, of course.
What would you change?
I would. I'd build a bigger dealership because money wouldn't be a problem. I'd do other things that I still want to do, but obviously that's obviously governed by money, and I'm still waiting. So if I had 190 million, I'd obviously fast track that. I wouldn't go out and buy like boats and helicopters and stuff. I'm not really like... My life wouldn't actually change that because I'm really happy with my life. I'm happy with what I've built. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't stop working. I wouldn't be one of them people that I mean, I don't know, mate, because I've not got 191 million quid. But in my head now, I wouldn't. I'd carry on.
I would carry on. For sure. YouTube videos would suddenly look like Grand Tour videos, and maybe I'd have some cooler cars in the garage and maybe a better studio. But I would definitely keep. I'm the same. I enjoy my life. I enjoy what I'm doing. I would just probably improve certain elements financially. Yeah. Okay, so just switching for the last few questions just to YouTube. Some came through. Some of these have been repeated, but we'll jump in. Greg S., looking back by 10 or 15 years, what's the biggest automotive advancements you would have experienced? Or I guess he's saying what is... I don't really understand the question, but I would say for me, it's the improvement of automatic gearboxes. Yeah. Sort of F1 tech, PDK and things like that, and flappy paddles in front. Like if you think about early Top Gear content with flappy paddles and F1 shift in a 360 channel Stradale compared to whatever, a Pista.
Well, we know where this all started from. McLaren, basically. Well, no, actually, like early PDK Porsches probably and early DSG stuff. And then the supercar world, I think McLaren, we've said this before, I think it was McLaren that really shook it up, and obviously the 458.
Sorry, okay, in general development.
In general development, that's when it really, really started to take hold.
But as a one bit of tech? Start, stop?
Apple CarPlay.
This is a weird question. I don't think one that I expect you to answer. Please, can you ask Tony what margin do dealers usually have when selling a used car? It's a bit like going into a supermarket and saying, hey, mate, what margin have you got on that milk?
It's I can answer that question.
Okay, fair enough. I thought that was a very personal question. Apparently not.
Well, it all depends. There's no set margin. We all have it's like in any sales, you all have a start margin of where you'd like to be. But if the car don't sell, or you've had to give more for it than what you want to give for it, but you want to own it, the margins are different, mate. And also, you can't... Right across the board.
You can't say, oh, right, it's a $100,000 car, they've got 10% margin, and so you're going to go in and kick them in the bollocks and say, well, I know you paid $90,000 for that, so give it to me. These are all businesses.
But it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant anyway, because if the dealer don't want to sell to you at that, you can listen, because of the internet's done us all a favour as dealers, because I can't remember the last time, even pre-COVID, that I give big money off a car because the internet's the audience, mate.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
You're only ringing me because my car's competitively priced. Everything's about price. Specs obviously fairly important, but at the end of the day, it's price. So no one's ringing me up nowadays, and even if they do, I tell them to go away, offering me thousands of pounds off because I just don't. I'll wait for the next bloke. Thanks. It's not a thing anymore.
I can see that.
Yeah.
John Keenan, I'm going to correct you on your point here. You went, love the Mille Miglia vlogs, but if you're both honest, those slow special stages in the heat in a fast car, they must have been a complete pain. They made the event.
They absolutely made the event.
The special stages are what it's all about. They're the
when we was
best
really
part.
interacting.
Really into it, competitive, had something to do. 1,000,000% the best part.
Yeah.
I would go back and do a competition rally that was smaller just to do the fun special stages. I really enjoyed that part. Okay. What car has Tony sold the most of? Do you think do you chart that?
I can tell you what I've sold a lot of, or what we do sell a lot of. So a lot of M2s or M2 comps. So a lot of hot hatches in general. SUVs, very common for us. There's no specific car, but just knowing what's in my head. I mean, for the last few years, especially since I've been on social media, I've tried to keep the stock very consistent in what I sell, because you, the audience, know what I sell now. So, and as well, I buy stuff from social media. So what I buy is what I sell. So I've always tried to keep it at the same level. But yeah, all that sort of stuff really.
Just flying out.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick one more. There are so many. Thank you so much for all of you that submitted questions. Yeah, there's thousands of them. But
sit here all day.
You have the chance to drive a race car for one day. You don't have to pay anything. The car will be in perfect shape. Which would you pick? I'm going to say except a Formula One car.
Yeah, because I mean, you wouldn't be able to drive a Formula One car flat.
Well, I did.
Well, you didn't. It was a restricted one, but okay. Every time we say this, I will go a 911R.
The Le Mans car. Is it RSR?
Yeah, an RSR car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see in that. I went at Zolder. There was a GT3 Club Sport, the 992 GT3. Bloody hell, that thing was quick. I, of course, are going to go something from like Goodwood Revival. So I would jump in a 250 Competizione or something old.
Run around faster.
Probably, but you'd have a good time doing it while I'm doing.
And if you run round, you'd get all the way round as well. You'd probably get halfway round in one of them.
Not if you're a pro driver like me. Anyway, we'll wrap things up there. As I said, I know that we could go on for hours, and I'm sure many of you will want us to. There are lots of questions. Maybe we'll do another one of these towards the end of the summer before our big break. Just a quick reminder about that one more time. But we hope you've enjoyed the episode. Give it a thumbs up here on YouTube if you're watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. If you want to follow Tony, he's at Tony Gravelwood Car Sales on most social media platforms, and I'm at Seen Through Glass on most social media platforms. We'll be back with you for another episode next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.